Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this, what is likely to be rather large tournament review and list review. I have my cup of Yorkshire Gold. It was 50-50 whether I needed that or Earl Grey, but I stuck with the Yorkshire Gold because I tend to put a little bit of sugar in it, so I had a little bit of extra sweetness. So hopefully the glucose should power me through. Right. I've also still got a little bit of a mouth ulcer there, which is very annoying. But anyway, I've just to on earlier like tournament list reviews. So basically, what I'm going to do with the stats is I'm going to do it once a month. I'm changing up the format yet again because, well, it'll probably change again, to be fair. But anyway, this month, this is what I'm doing. I did intend on splitting the world up and just doing different bits throughout October. However, I rather foolishly just did the United States on its own video and probably should have done Canada as a sort of like a North America sort of thing. And then probably should have done New Zealand in with Australia because, you know, they're kind of sort of close to each other and possibly have similar meta, but I don't know. Anyway, so this is Europe, Canada and New Zealand. As it turns out, there's no other tournaments anywhere else. Spain is particularly big. I think Spain could probably have its own video, really. But anyway, let's crack on through this. So first, we visit Mons et Barreul, Hauts-de-France, doublette the Old World d'Octobre, d'anno 2000 et 25 à Utopolis 2025, I think. I don't know. Anyway, corrections in the comments. This one only showed some draws, so we're not exactly sure what went on, but well done to Mehdi Bouhadi, Matare and Vincent Bertrot for winning the top three, especially to Vincent because he's taken Bretonians, and every good Frenchman should always take Bretonians. Anyway, Mehdi decided to take an expeditionary force of dwarves. This is a 1,000-point tournament, so I'm not going to go into much depth of it. I don't know why I clicked on the list, but it's well done to them for turning out and having a decent weekend of things. This one was again in Besançon, also in France. Well done to Vincent, Pierre, and Amine for winning with Cathay, Wood Elves. Wood Elves coming second and High Elves coming third. We're not sure about the points or what happened here, but 18 people turned up, which is a decent size. So well done to those three. Moving over to Finland in October, there was a tournament called Pitskun Loskoto. Probably butchered that pronunciation, but apologies. I don't know how Finnish pronunciation works. Tor Erik managed to win with Renegade Vampire Count list. It's only 1,500, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Jakob, I don't know how to pronounce that. Terribly sorry. Came second with High Elf Realms, and Juha Tuominen came third with Mortuary Cult. So well done to those three. Again, out of the 16 people who turned up in Finland. Also in Finland at the start of the month was Manti Mayhem. Pekka Miller managed to win this one with Vampire Counts. These are 2,000 points, so we'll look at these. Mikko Kaukonen came second with Mortuary Cult, and Pekka Sottinen came third with Dark Elves out of 12 people. So let's have a look at this Dark Elf list, because that might be interesting. He's gone for, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce those names. Vengril, I say that and then immediately attempt it. Veren Vodataya. Tell me how close I am. I'd love to know. Anyway, Dark Elf Dreadlord on a black dragon, Talisman of Protection, and the Dragon Slaying Sword. Typically, he's trying to keep it under 500 points, but typically you'd see the Pendant of Caleth there. In fact, he hasn't taken the Pendant of Caleth at all. Pendant of Caleth is the Dark Elves' only broken magic item, right? It's I don't know why it's not there. He's got the Death Hag, which is on a cauldron of blood. It is the Renegade pack, so she can go in units, so that's not as bad as it used to be. But it's still pretty, even with the Renegade pack working as it is, it's still pretty bad. You've got repeated crossbows, a big unit of witch elves for this to go in. Got a rampaging banner on it, which allows you to reroll charges. I mean, I guess that's okay. You typically see something like, what's the dark? There's a dark elf banner, like the Banner of Rage, or what the hell is it called? Sorry, I've got loads of tabs open because Dark Elves. What's the bloody banner called? Banner of Harganeth. That's it. That's the one that people typically take because it gives you extra AP. So then if you, I mean, this is just me showing the combo list, but if you have the Death Hag with a Rune of Cain, right, that gives her an extra D3 attacks. You give her the Ogre Blade, of course, because she can just about afford it, 75 points. So you end up with, she's got a Frenzy as well, so that's 3, 4 plus D3 attacks, so probably 6 attacks. She's got Hatred Everybody, and she strikes first. So whether you get charged or whether you charge them, doesn't matter. They're getting hit with like 6 or 7, weapon skill 6, strength 6 because of Ogre Blade, AP 3 because of Banner of Harganeth, so that goes up to AP 3, and then it has Armor Bane 1 as well. So AP 3, you know, really good. So the weapon skill 6, you know, even characters you're hitting on 4s re-rolling with like 6 or 7 attacks. You're then up to strength 6, which is pretty nasty. So you're getting a few wounds in there, and then of course your AP 3/4, which means, you know, you're going to do some damage, even to something really, really big. It's not going to save everything, so you're going to get a few wounds off against anything, and that's actually, you know, a fairly cheap combo, 500 points between the two, and of course you've got all the Witch Elf unit as well. So, you know, really, really good. Really, really good combo. So that's typically what you tend to see for them. Even 20's fine because they're going to get there in the frenzy, so they don't really care about heavy casualties on the way in. I mean, it's basically a delivery mechanism for the Death Hag. But she's got Pekka. I don't know whether that's Pekka. I think that's a bloke's name, isn't it? Apologies. My cultural awareness of Finland is terrible. All I know is that the 20th century was not kind to them at all. So anyway, you end up with this Death Hag delivery mechanism with the Witch Elves. So I've got a couple of units of Dark Riders. That's sensible. They're good core attacks. They are light cavalry. They're actually okay light cavalry. They're not very good, but they're not terrible. They're not like Illyrian Reavers, where they're pretty much your only option. You know, because they do have options for light cavalry Dark Elves. You know, you can take the casting ones. What the hell are they called? Oh, I've forgotten. I think I've got something acidic not acidic, something stingy on my finger because I keep wiping my eye and it keeps getting worse. I think did I have chilies last night? I don't know. I've washed my hands since then. Anyway, whatever. Didn't have them for breakfast. Anyway. Then he's got 10 Blackguard. I'm really not sure what 10 of them are for. Maybe in the Renegade pack they've got another rule that allows them to take wounds off characters or something. Maybe they do something to sort of boost her a little bit, because 10 doesn't seem like enough to do anything unless they've got like an ancillary purpose, which is to basically act as a meat shield for something else that he wants to keep alive, which I'm not sure whether that's the case or not. Then he's got 3 Reaper bolt throwers, which is fine. I mean, it's a relatively cheap bolt thrower at 80 points. It can fire multiple shots. However, because it's an elven bolt thrower, it's going to miss all the time. It's just sod's law. So, yeah, not sure about that list at all, really. But obviously Pekka is a very good player. He managed to beat Henry, who also took Dark Elves, who's gone for Pendant of Caleth. Yep. He's got Double Dragon, which is fine. Yeah. He's gone for the Burning Blade and Illusion. So he's not guaranteeing Spectral Doppelganger, sorry, because he's not gone for the Law Familiar. He's not gone for the Death Hag. He's gone for a big block of repeaters, some Cold One Knights and some Harpies. This list seems a bit more balanced, but I think part of what he's written this for is to essentially try and take out balloons. So this looks like it's got some like Cathay game, especially with the Dragon Slaying Sword, actually, thinking about it, because lots of attacks going into, for instance, Miao Ying, if she's in dragon form, she's got no protection against Monster Slayer. Neither have the Sentinels. So I think he's actually built this maybe to like try and take down Cathay, which is an interesting concept. I don't think any turned up. Oh no, one did. And managed to lose all games. Why is the list not there? It's on BCP. Hopefully it's on... hopefully his list is on BCP. I want to see what that Cathay list looks like. Overview. Idiot. Placings, Cathay. Come on. Yeah, here's the list. Here's the boy. Miao Ying, Strategist, Sky Lantern. Oh, it's actually Jade Fleet. He's got Jade, 15 of them. That's not a lot. Jade Lancers, that's fine. He's gone for 2 cannons, a Sentinel, and 12 state missile troops. That one hasn't got an Ogre Loader. He's gone for Fire Rain Rocket Battery with an Ogre Loader. The Fire Rain Rocket Battery, because Stone Throwers and Mortars are awful, it's still pretty awful. You know, you just want cannons, really. Model's cool, though. Yeah, he's not got... well, he's only got 1 balloon, which means it's susceptible to getting... you know, once the balloon goes, you've lost your game, really, to an extent. Because you've not got any... The Sentinel isn't good enough on its own to... he's kept the Terracotta, so he's kept the 5 at regen, or ward, or whatever it's got, which is sensible. But the Sentinel on its own isn't really... It's a weird one, because it looks really, really good on paper, but on the tabletop, it just dies too quickly, because everybody's got game to kill giants, basically. Everybody's... right. So when you go into a tournament nowadays, you've got to think, can I kill a giant in 1 turn with all the stuff I've got in my list? You know, that's the thing that you need to be able to do. And if you can do that, you can kill a Sentinel in 1 turn. Because the Sentinel is roughly as survivable as a giant. Yeah, it's got heavy armor, or sometimes full plate if you make it obsidian. But then you're spending like 260 points on that. And it's not that fast. One of the things about the Necrosphinx that makes it so broken is that it does have a quite a decent fly move, and it has swift stride. So it you know, the Necrosphinx can get into combat relatively easily. This, because it's, I think it's movement 6 or 7 or something, but it hasn't got swift stride, so it takes ages to get there. And it's not like, for instance, Mr. Gribbles, who moves 3... he's a giant spawn, who moves 3d6 inches, which, you know, you can spike that and get like 13, 14 sometimes, and of course they get no charge reaction or whatever. So, you know, it's kind of... the Cathayan Sentinel is weirdly shit, out of all the stuff in the army. It's, you know, it's got some really good rules when it gets into combat. It's just getting there, and it doesn't get to pick its combat. Like, you know, yes, it's against a Necrosphinx. It should win against the Necrosphinx hands down every single time. The problem is the Necrosphinx often gets the charge off after some chip damage has been done. So, yeah, the Sentinel is a needs improving, weirdly. Not, you know, and to anybody who's played against it, I appreciate that in combat it can feel very, very broken because it is very strong, but especially if you roll, you know, reasonably well, but it's still not that good. It's a very, very expensive giant because, well, I guess that's the trade-off really, because it's much better than a giant in combat, but you're paying for that. You're not paying for any extra survivability. So, you know, would people be happy with a Sentinel costing, I don't know, 300 and odd points, but it having more survivability? I mean, I think that's the consideration really. Or do you just make it cheaper and make it less good in combat, so it's more or less on par with the giant? Do you want it to be on par with the giant? Probably not, because it's cooler. So is it cooler though? I quite like giants. I think they're quite cool. So is that what you want? In which case you just need to make its combat attacks slightly less effective, and then you can drop it down to like 200 points, right? That's the kind of consideration. Where they've left the Sentinel is kind of in the middle. Anyway, this wasn't supposed to be about the Sentinel, but anyway, well done to these three. Oh, let's have a look at Miko's list. He's gone for poison attacks with a serpent staff. Has he gone for? Gone for Necromancy, Talisman of Protection, so he's got 5 at Ward, 5 at Regen, Toughness 6, he's on a Bone Dragon, and a 4 up Save, which is nice. And he's got the Serpent Staff, which hits pretty well. You want to see... I take it he's taken the Law of Illusion. I know he's got Necromancy. Not typically with Serpent Staff they go Illusion, because you can get Spectral Doppelganger and get 2d6 hits off with this. And it's 2d6 hits at Strength 5 AP2, which is quite nice. He's then gone for a couple of Mortuary Priests. One of them's a BSB, and he's given the other one the Ruby Ring of Ruin, which makes sense. Spread your effects out. He's got some Horse Archers, some Skirmishers, Block of Warriors, Bow Shabty, presumably, yep. And then 2 Caskets, a Catapult, 2 Scorpions, and a Necrosphinx. The Catapult just gives you a -1 leadership at range. And with the spells from Necromancy here and here, you can debuff their leadership even more, and then you hit them with a casket, and then the other casket is maintaining its defensive aura, so everything's still -1 to hit with an additional 6 at ward save. Very, very good list. Very, very good list. Not surprised it did well. Well done, Miko. Who drew? Oh, there's quite a few draws. Interesting. I would guess the Warriors of Chaos. Then Vampire Count, Renegade list 1 with... this is interesting. Vampire Count on Zombie Dragon with a Giant Blade. Dark Acolyte means that it can do resurrecting things. Presumably, this then flies around with these Blood Knights and keeps popping one back every turn. You got a couple of Fell Bats to protect the flanks of the Knights and the Dragon. This White Lord goes in this unit of Graveguard, maybe even with the Master Necromancer's on a Mortis engine. So you've got Skeleton Warriors to protect and Dire Walls to protect the flanks of this, which has the White Lord, blah, blah, blah. Now, personally, if that's what you're doing, do zombies, because you can bring loads back. So a couple of units of zombies instead of these Skeleton Warriors will be way better, but other than that, this is a very nicely optimised tournament list for Vampire Count, so well done, and well done for winning all 3 games with it, so good out. Moving over to Denmark in Listrup, we had this tournament the last weekend, actually. So Martin Berensen managed to win with Mortuary Cult, Thomas Brøger with the City State of Null, and Matthias de Kusk Malmborg. Apologies if I've butchered any of those, but pronunciation guides are more than welcome to anybody who knows. Managed to come 3rd with Warriors of Chaos, so well done, Matthias. Let's have a look at your list. You have Slemmer Torben. Is that Slim Terry or something? Chaos Lord, Full Plate, Mark of Nurgle, Ogre Blade, Favour of the Gods, Extra Arm. No Dragon. Okay, so he's got a Chaos Lord and he's buffed him up. And has he actually put him on any... Yeah, he's got a Chaos Steed. Okay, so you got an Exalted Sorcerer who's also Nurgle Chaos Steed. Another Sorcerer Chaos Steed, Zinch. So do we have a unit of Chosen Knights? No. What do we have? We have 10 Knights who are undivided. This just gets weirder. Undivided. So... does that sorcerer go with these horsemen then? So it gets the unit, so it gets the casting bonus. He's gone for Rod of the Damned, which you don't see very often because it's a bit naff. Naff means a bit kind of not very good. Not trash, but naff is like, yeah. It's got a couple of single char attacks, which is something you saw a lot last year, but seems to have been dwindling in popularity. recently in favour of sort of bigger units, but they're excellent war machine hunters and character hunters, so they are worth taking. He's gone for a warp fire dragon, which is cool. And then where is there anything with Mark of Nurgle? No. So do they just? Oh. I mean, Mark of Nurgle. I think you can mix. You can have Mark of Nurgle going in Mark of Undivided units. I can't remember exactly how the. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do that and why you'd not just make them Nurgle. But yeah, that's a really odd list, actually. I'm not quite sure how. Well, I mean, I know how all the components work, but I don't really know how that all works together as a host. It's all really quick as well, so I don't know why he's not got it in. Yeah, really odd. I guess you have to pay. Oh no, he's gone for 6. I bet this isn't actually Warriors of Chaos. I bet this is actually what's it called? The Vanguard Horde or whatever the hell it's called. The Heralds of the Apocalypse or Heralds of Darkness. The Heralds, the mounted one. It looks very much like that. But if it is that, then you've got to take a unit, haven't you, to get the mark? So he should have 2 units with a Mark of Nurgle. And he's just got Undivided. Huh. Not sure what's going on with that one, to be honest. That's thrown me a little bit. But anyway, well done. Thomas Brugger with City State of Nuln. He's gone. Chases BSB first. Then an engineer with a sniper rifle. With a 50 cal. And he's got the General of the Empire with full plate. That's a thing that makes handguns better, if I remember rightly. And he's got... is it? Won't make any sense if he's on a warhorse and full plate and lance to go with, like... Has he... No, he hasn't. He hasn't got any unit of knight to... Maybe he goes in the Outriders, doesn't he? I think he goes in the Outriders to improve them. Because... Squint softens. Oh bugger it! Squint. I just want to know what Squint softens marvelous magnificent does. Squint softens marvelous. Oh god, it's got to be City State of Nuln, hasn't it? Particularly, which I don't think I've actually got one list of them yet. Right. City State of Nuln. Bosh. Bosh. Bosh, bosh. Right, let's have a look for Squint Soften. Squint Softens, there we are. Do not, yeah. So you don't get the -1 to shoot at long range. So presumably that's going with the Outriders. That's why he's on a horse. And he's got Witch Hunter's Ward, which is like magic res or something. Oh no, the Witch Hunter. Oh, hold on. Didn't I? Oh, is it extremely common? Goodness gracious me, so it is. Interesting. So he's got... So both of these don't suffer... This is really cool. So neither of those get -1 to hit for long range. So they should be a bit more reliable. And they're basically mobile... Like, it's basically a mobile unit of... Because of output, about 20 handgunners. So it's basically like a really mobile version of about 20 handgunners, and it costs the same roughly as 20 handgunners anyway. So it's a pretty decent... Outriders are pretty decent, and not having the -1 to hit a long range is very, very good. And also, the Witch Hunter's Ward and the Witch Hunter, I think the Witch Hunter has magic res as well, so they've got a bit of magic resistance built in as well, which is pretty cool. He's then, of course, got a steam tank, because they're a pain in the ass to deal with. He's then got, of course, got 3 great cannons, because they're awesome. He's So the engineer will stick around with the great cannons. He'll shoot the ever living bejesus out of anything. The Nuln veteran state troops will stay near the cannons and try and keep them alive as long as possible. You've got the Hellblaster effectively to... So essentially what you could do is castle up, so you put your cannons in one corner and then your Hellblaster facing like that kind of angle. And especially if you can put them on a hill or not, just put the unit in front so it's difficult to get around that side. You have to go around that side and then get shot by the Hellblaster. Maybe you put your steam tank there as like an anchor in the middle of all these fire arcs, and then you've got the Outriders to essentially manoeuvre around the rest of the table and just shoot everything. So, yeah, pretty cool list. That's how I guess it works, but, we shall see. If anybody was there and can comment, let me know. Martin Berenson with Mortuary Cult has what looks to be so far a pretty... he's actually gone for the big archer block, which is pretty cool. And he's got Amulet of the Serpent on the Mortuary Priest with a BSB, so that'll go in there and give them poison attacks, which is pretty nice. He's got some Bow Shabti, some pretty standard stuff there, and a Necrotect for some reason. Not really sure the Necrotect synergizes particularly well with this list. I'd spend the 50 odd points somewhere else. But actually, to be fair, putting it in the Skeleton Archers, giving them an extra attack and hatred in combat, could, especially with poison attacks, could swing things a little bit. So, okay, fair enough. I'm not going to argue that much about it. That's not a terrible idea. I just think there's probably something more optimal you could do with those 50 points. Maybe another Bow Shabti, for instance. That'll probably do a bit more damage. Bow Shabti are difficult to... Well, I find them difficult to use. I've only taken Khemri to one tournament and played quite a few games with them outside of that, but I always find them difficult to wield. They end up just being more or less a distraction card effects. My opponent knows they're deadly and just targets them, so I just kind of use them to lead him into stupid situations. Well, for him anyway. So yeah, cool. Staying in Denmark, also last weekend, we had a GT, Battle Rage Baller Up, which, Ballerup, Ballerup must be a place. It's decided it wants to open it twice. Ballerup, where's this? It's near Copenhagen. Oh, it's just outside Copenhagen. Copenhagen. So, yeah. In the active centre. So, sports hall-y sort of thing over there. Nice. Oh, what's that? Oh. That is a really nice, actually... sorry, I play a lot of city builders. That is wicked. That would look great in, Soviet Union workers, Soviet resources, workers and Soviet Union workers and resources or something, whatever that game is. If anybody knows city builder games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know exactly what that is wicked. I'm gonna make a mental note of that. Anyway, Chiara Sising, Anderson Noor, and Rasmus Sising coming in third, second, and first. Well done to those. Notes to Alan Bundgaard for taking Orion's Wild Hunt, which is one of the not good factions in the meta at the moment, and coming fourth, winning 4 and very nearly getting on the podium there. So let's have a look at Alan's list. Oh god. Oh. Okay. Huh. He's not gone for Orion. He's instead gone for Lord on a Dragon, which is the right call. And he's gone for 2 Glade Captains, on Great Stags. Who are they just War Machine hunters and single character hunters? I think that's what their job is. And then this does the dragon job of basically just getting in the way and, being an absolute nuisance and then killing loads of stuff. He's gone for a Spell Singer on a Warhawk. Then we've got Glade Riders, Wild Riders, Thorny Sisters, who are still, I think, amazing, despite the spell being random. They've still got loads going for them. I just wish you could choose your spell still, because basically the problem with sisters, they used to be able to choose the spell that they got, and the problem was the Pillar of Fire spell from Battle Magic, because you could choose its direction, so you could spam that and basically guarantee D6 Strength 3 AP 2 or whatever it was hits over a unit. But because you could take 3 of these units, you could guarantee 3d6 such hits every single turn, which was totally broken. And then of course you could just voluntarily take them all off the table and just pop them down somewhere else that you wanted next turn. So, you know, it's just, and with them getting +2 to cast as well, absolutely broken. So that was a massive problem. But they fixed that by making the Pillar of Fire spell, you know, random direction, which is fine. But then also they made they debuffed the sisters and made them have a random spell instead of they choose one, which I'd go back to choosing, to be honest, because, you know, there's no spell in that lore that if you that's, you know, that gets more powerful if you spam it, right? It was only Pillar of Fire, and now you fix Pillar of Fire, you can't do that anymore, so it's not a problem. So let them choose, I would say. But Wild Riders, Warhawk Riders, quite a lot of Wild Riders. Wild Riders are kind of, they are the ultimate glass cannon. Like, they charge into something, they kill it, and then as soon as somebody swings back at them, they just die. Toughness 3 with almost no save. I think they've got like 5 up armor save because they've got light armor and shields, and then they've got a 6 up ward save. So they've got almost no saves at all. Yeah, I mean, again, if I were writing there, I'd have given them a 5 at ward save, just to try and give them something. But take away the shield option, because it's weird them having a shield. In fact, I'd probably just give them a 4 at ward save and just give them no armor. I think that would probably be better. And then they'd kind of be aligned with the sisters, wouldn't they? Interesting. And then a Great Eagle. Right. Good list. But it just got pipped by this Vampire Counts list, which has a couple of Cairn Wraiths, who are terror-causing tiny single entities, so they're an absolute nightmare. They're good for war machine hunting. They're good for hunting screens as well, because, you know, you think often your screens are, like, out of range of your general in terms of, like, leadership ability. So all he has to do is declare a charge with a Cairn Wraith, and you have to take a terror test, and then they probably run away because it's a rubbish screen with no leadership. And then, you know, he has to bobble his Cairn Wraith forwards that you then can't shoot because it's ethereal. So they are pretty good at clearing screens and that kind of stuff and getting through to kill characters. Remember as well, they do multiple wounds. They do have quite a decent combat weapon. They do only have 2 attacks, rubbish initiative, rubbish weapon skill, rubbish strength. But still, none of that really matters because, you know, they're ethereal and they're quite nasty. So, yeah. Then you got a Master Necromancer level 4, Scepter of Denaro, who's on a Nightmare, which is an interesting choice. Presumably these go with the Black Knights. This is actually a very interesting non-standard vampire list, because there's no big block of stuff, really. You got a Vampire Count on a Zombie Dragon, you got a White Lord, so you can take the Black Knights as core. The White Lord, I'd assume the White Lord and the Master Necromancer both go in, in this unit of Black Knight, so making it 14, I'd imagine. And he's got the Drakenhalf banner there, so these have got toughness 4, barding, heavy armor and shield, I think. So they've got a 3 up save, and then they'll have a 5 up regen now because of Drakenhalf. So you know, they're pretty tough. They're better than Chaos Knights because I think they've got Cleaving Blow. So they're basically better than Chaos Knights. They haven't got the initiative or the weapon skill that Chaos Knights have, but they don't really need it because the Cleaving Blow like more than makes up for it, and the fact that they're unbreakable because they're undead also makes them better. So yeah, Black Knights are pretty decent, and then it's got a load of Hex Wraiths who are also very decent. I don't know where to rank them in like the knight stuff because they do quite a lot of jobs. And then of course he's got some spirit hosts, so he's gone actually quite ethereal. He's gone about as ethereal as I think you can without going. He's calling it breaking the system, but because I think he thinks he's taking an interesting. Now it is an interesting list. Don't get me wrong, but it's still going to rely quite heavily on the zombies and spirit hosts holding objectives in the middle of the table, whilst everything swirls around them and then does a load of damage. I'm presuming is what he's what he's going for. Spirit House is an interesting pick though. Dark Acolyte on the vampire count as well. That absolutely makes sense. But I don't know. Maybe the Zombie Dragon and the Hex Wraiths are a thing, and then the Black Knights and another unit of Hex Wraiths go on another flank, and then these kind of sit in the middle. Don't know. But the zombies allow you to essentially lure your opponent into a charge that's bad for them because they're going to get hit by a ton of nastiness. So, really interesting list there. Well done for taking a relatively interesting vampire list. Anderson, Lord Ond, had this Seaguard list, came second. Very good, very good. It's you've got a Garrison Commander, don't see them very often, and a Stormweaver. Again, don't see them very often on a Unicorn. Nice. So we've got some quite interesting characters here that we don't see very often. We've got quite a lot of Seaguard. Again, you don't see that very often, even in Seaguard lists. Typically only one unit. A couple of units of Ship's Company, which is good. These are detachments. Which one's the regimental unit? It doesn't say. One of those will be the regimental, probably the big one. Or maybe they've got one detachment each, I don't know. And then it's got a Sky Cutter, which are great. Frost Dart Phoenix, which are Mirum, which are, I don't like them at all. I don't like the model. The rules are okay, but yeah. Interesting. I'm not, so presumably you've got two blocks here. You've got these two skirmishers that kind of go around there. The Sky Cutter does it's an ambusher, so presumably that's to take down war machines and stuff later. Frost Dart Phoenix probably flies around the flank and tries to get something, probably with the Merworm, I'd imagine. And then you've got a Griffin here. There's no, that one's on a Griffin as well, and another Griffin. So you've got three Griffins, the Phoenix and the Merworm. So you've basically got like 5 flying monstery sort of things to just cause absolute havoc, really, haven't you? And then, yeah, then you got the Stormweaver that's on the Unicorn. So where does that go? What does that do? Maybe it goes in one of these units and just displaces a few. I don't know. It's really interesting. I'd love to know how that works, actually. Somebody please tell me. And then Demons of Chaos managing to win a tournament. God of Cakes. God of Cakes. I started painting this a week before BRB. 2,400. Oh, so these are using the square base thing, the square base comp. So he just gets more points for stuff. Oh, wow. Right, okay. I didn't know that about the tournament. Now I'm going to have a look at it a bit better. So we've got, in fact, the lists don't really matter because they're all different points limits. So there's not really a lot you can. I don't know why I didn't spot that beforehand, actually. 260, 540, 840, 880, 1080, 1480, let's say 1780, 1880, 1980, and then about 400, so 23. So this was about 2,400 points, or 2,400 points. Interesting. Okay, so what did that actually do to? So Orion's Wild Hunt. That is 5, 9, 13, 17, 22, 24 maybe. Interesting. And what happened at the bottom? Ogre Kingdoms. Is there anybody that's taking 2,000 points? No. Nobody's taking on the challenge of going for a stronger faction. Apart from Morton, actually. Morton Holmbo. And, of course, Kada, who's taken basically 2,000 points of vampire counts. And still finished third, despite being massively outnumbered. Really interesting, this. Yeah. I'm surprised Wild Hunt didn't, and that's why the Wild Hunt list did quite well. Obviously, Alan's turned up and done the, but again, he's turned up and done the job against stuff that's largely 2,400 points. Because there's a lot of stuff here where people have taken forces that aren't very good, or that are benefited by the square-based meta, and really interesting, that one. Really interesting. And demons winning. Magic overload. Yeah. Two soul grinders. Nasty. Soul grinders are pretty decent. I just hate them in Warhammer because like they're 40k. They're obviously 40k. I wish they'd stop trying to cram them into Warhammer Old World and all that kind of stuff. Let us have some different demon things, please, in Warhammer. You know, I really like the weird like Horus Heresy like undivided big weird demon things. I can't remember what they're called. I think Forge World used to do them. I thought they were quite cool, and I'd love like a kind of a demonic version of Skin Wolves for Warhammer. I'd love a bit more variety within the demon hordes, really, to be honest, rather than these horrible models that are just obviously 40k. But anyway, the problem is they are really good. The rules for them are really good, so you kind of want to include them. There's a lot of Furies there. A few units of Flamers, which are basically Exalted Flame and Delivery units, which basically are going for 2d6 strength for AP1 hits because they're going for the signature spell. So that's doing a lot of that. He's gone for the obvious ones with Twin Heads, which allows him to re-roll a dice. Oh no, Twin Heads is an extra spell, isn't it? I tend to go for the other one as well, the kind of the Kairos one, which allows you to re-roll one dice a turn. Or is it per battle round? You can re-roll one dice, any dice, it doesn't matter, and it can be 1 out of 2, so you can undo a miscast and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, very good, very interesting tournament. And whoever organised this, thanks for running the Square Base comp, because you know more data points, the better. Canada, right? I wanted to come back to Canada and save the best till the last. So let's hop over to Belgium now. On the 11th of October, this one-day tournament happened. Arvid da Costa, we've seen that name before, won with Vampire Counts, Renegade faction, winning tournament points, actually getting a draw and only winning 2 games. So Boris and Gentis will feel a bit hard done to by that result, to be honest. But you know that's where it is. So we've got the Vampire Count, 5. 7, 8, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. Okay, 2000. So you got a Master Necromancer level 4, standard stuff, really. Well, that's not actually that standard. Normally, the General goes on the Mortis Engine, who's then a level 3, and then the level 4 is the one on foot with the Sceptre of Denaro, because then that can hide behind units, and you don't lose the Denaro ability. Is that the right way around? Because he's put the he's put the general on foot, which is what he should do, because that one's quite hard to kill. But then you want that one to be the level 4 one with the scepter, don't you? Because you want yeah. I think that's he's gone for a different slight, but it's more or less just, I mean. You know, when you're arguing about which one's level 3 and which one's level 4 wizard, that's a quite high level of granularity. We've got a couple of Tomb Banshees. They are very similar to the Ken Wraiths in terms of what they do on the battlefield. It's just they do their damage through the scream rather than through actual direct damage. Right, so you got a White Lord with BSB, Helm of Commandment, Graveguard, Drakenhalf. So that's your big anchor. A big unit of 28, basically. Toughness 4, heavy armoured, and... oh no, the great weapon, no shield. Heavy armoured, 5 up regen, and then you can bring them all back. And you got lots of, you know, you've got basically... 11 plus 3d3 of them coming back every turn if you keep your necromancers nearby, and then of course you can raise your zombies and blah 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 blah. And he's gone for an extra unit of Graveguard over here. That's a bit weird. I wouldn't bother with that. You might just want more in this unit, so get it up to 30 and then more Hex Wraiths or something. But yeah, pretty cool list. Well done. Well done for winning it. Wild Herd, Boris Devis coming in second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. Yeah, okay, 2,000 points again. So we've got... I'm just checking to see if it's using the Square Base thing. So we've got two Bray Shaman at the top there. You've got two Great Bray Shaman, Wizard level 4 and 3. Level 4 going with Hag Tree Fetish. I mean, basically, the signature spell that it's just going for Vile Tide spam. So, pardon me. The Beastmen have a signature spell called Vile Tide. It's 5d6 strength. I want to say 1 hits, but 6 is to wound. But it allows no armor saves. So it's basically 5d. So roll 5d6 dice on 6s. Your opponent takes a wound, no armor save allowed. Basically, wards. I'm not sure whether regens are allowed. Wards certainly are. Now the Hag Tree Fetish allows you to re-roll those wound rolls. So, but anyway, if you've got like 4 of them, 4 times 5d6 is like that's 20d6, isn't it? Which is like 70 hits. And so you're doing 11 sort of damage without the rerolls for the Hag Tree Fetish. So with the rerolls for the Hag Tree Fetish, it goes up to like 14, 15, 16, something like that. And so that's pretty much going to kill more or less anything in the game in one turn, which is pretty nasty. And then he's got loads of War Gores. Okay, and then got a big gore herd, a couple of little on-gore herds, ambushers. And they are just about competent enough to take down some war machines. He seems to have gone for 2 herd stones. I didn't think you were allowed to, but okay. Maybe the Wild Hunt's allowed an extra one. I thought you only allowed 1. But anyway, and then you got Bray Shaman and some Primal. And a Primal Warherd there. Primal Warherd, I'm not sure why that one isn't bigger, because I think that's one of the best units in the game in terms of like what it does for you. Really, really, really good. But what do I know? He's taking that one as ambushers to sort of come on later and also help. So actually, going back to that list, it's actually quite interesting, I think, because has he got any of these as ambushers? No. So he's got this big block here, big-ish block, and then these 2 to come on. And he's got another Bray Shaman there. Holy hell. That's, oh geez, that's 5 Vile Tides, isn't it? Oh, has he, I think he's allied in. I see what he's done. He's allied in so he can get another herdstone, because the allied list has another herdstone. I think that's what he's done, isn't it? So he's allied in a Bray Shaman and some Primal Warherds with a herdstone as like a sort of allied detachment, so he can get 2 herdstones. Really interesting. Boris, you cunning little bugger. And then Gentis with Orcs and Goblins. This is what we're seeing with successful greenskin lists nowadays, because it can take down balloons, basically. And it is pretty nasty, just loads and loads of fanatics. You've got to get through the fanatics to get to the squishier stuff. And then you've got tons of bolt throwers, tons of like... So he's got like 4 catapults, 2 of which get are super accurate. Doom Divers are great. He's got some Mangler Squigs to probably loiter around all of this and try and keep it alive. Then he's got 3 bolt he's got 3 bolt throwers, and 4 stone throwers. So some of that is going to hit, right? And it's going to do, if you take lots of it, it's worth taking. And Orcs and Goblins are the only ones that can really take tons of it. So, and they have. So this is this is what we're seeing in better Orc and Goblin lists at the moment. And Lauren Docks took Grand Cathay and Balloon. Oh, there's your problem. Only 1 balloon. No, but seriously, this unit of Jade Warriors isn't big enough. These Jade Lancers aren't big enough. The problem with Cathay is you do still need quite big units, because they are only toughness 3. So they do die relatively quickly, or the actual men of Cathay die quite quickly. This is really cool. You don't need the gunpowder bombs. They're a waste of points. In fact, do you even have to pay for them? Presumably you do, and that's something I've not... I just thought you took your ogre loader. Oh, okay. No, they are extra. Yeah, they're not worth it. They're not worth it. I won't bother with them. Where were we? Oh, it's Canada, isn't it? I'm coming back to Canada. Save the best to the last. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's an interesting list. It's not done very well, I suspect, because the units aren't big enough. He's relying too much on his sugar. He's gone for generals. That's okay. And he's got two. He has got 2 balloons. 2 balloons and 3 cannons. Yeah, I just think he spent too much on like magic items. Like you don't need the spell eater axe there. You don't really need the armor of meteoric iron. So that's another what 80 points? Or no, sorry, that's about 40 in it, and that one's like 30 or something. So that's like at least 60 points you've got spare there. Jade armor of Bakay is all right there. Ring of Jet spam, absolutely do that. You should have done it with the Jade Lance as well. They should both have a Ring of Jet. In fact, I'd rather have the champion having the Ring of Jet than the Sugar Daddies, because these guys can they're more flexible than that. You know, you don't want them in fact, I don't even think you can put them in that unit. So you kind of want the Ring of Jet in there, because these have got their own, their own magic that they can use. So they don't need it on top. If you're going to do it like Jade Lancers first, and then you don't need the gunpowder bombs. So I think not sure about the Alchemist's mask there either. Also not sure about the Morshard there. So there's about 100 or so of points that will allow you to essentially double the size of this unit. And I think that's the direction you should probably look to head in. I've got some light coming from the sun. The bastard. Right. Bastard. And then, yeah, okay, we've looked at all those. So that's the Green Knight, the Crusade Toe 2. Duh. Moving slightly over the border to the Netherlands. Holland. The Orange Palace. Oh, tea. Arvid, haven't I talked about this? What? Didn't I just... Have I talked about this one? No, because this was Jade Fleet. Arvid DaCosta, again, with his vampire count list. Has he... That's a... Yeah. Oh, he's got a black coach this time. That's interesting. This is pretty standard set of stuff up here. Yeah, black coach. That black coach is interesting instead of block of hell wraiths. Like it. I quite like the black coach. I love the new model for the Nighthawk one. It's absolutely beautiful. As are all the Nighthawk models. By the way, I wish there was more Spiritly stuff in the old world, to be honest, and so we could use a bit more of the Nighthawk stuff, because it's great. Models are fantastic. I really, 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 really wish that they'd released the Nighthawk stuff in the old edition of Warhammer, because the models are fantastic. They rank up terribly, but they do look great. And that would have been a proper kind of modelist whinging at you. These models are fantastic, but they rank awfully. Anyway, Arvid DaCosta winning. Well done. Rosalie coming second. Well done, Arvid, for... Well, actually, no, vampire counts are about as broken as Cathay at the moment, so it's not really... Mark Opskur coming in third with a Renegade Lizardman list, though. Sorry, let's do it in order. So the Jade Fleet from Rosalie. Still, no, why? So it's basically a Cathay list with the Jade Fleet rules. Because there's no humans in there at all. No, like, Empire humans. Well, to an extent, Cathay don't feel very human to me. This is a really interesting list, because I was critical of the last Cathay list, because the warrior unit was too... He's gone for the minimum size of 5. So he's got 40 points here just to sit on an objective. I mean, yeah, and then he's got Ring of Jet on the Jade Lancers, of course. And then, of course, you've got a Strategist on a balloon. Just the one balloon, actually, I think. 2 Sugar Zaddies, 1 with the Monkey King's Wisdom, best magic weapon in the game, hands down. Why it's only 80 points or 70 points or whatever the hell it is. I think it's more egregious than that even, isn't it? I think. Oh no, I need a bloody lord, don't I? I think it's more egregious than that, isn't it? It's 75 points. Absolutely ridiculous. Should be at least 125, to be honest. But anyway, 100 seems to be the max at the moment. So, yeah, so we've got the Grand Cannon, blah, 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 blah. Decent list, just slightly different. And I guess this is the problem with Cathay, because there's not a lot of choice in the in terms of the models. So all the lists are going to look more or less the same with a slight amount of variation. There's really any sub factions within the Cathay panoply. And Games Workshop, in terms of the rules writers, haven't been clever enough to design the characters to make them shift the list. Because what they could do, for instance, is have like the strategist do stuff that synergizes with like the infantry and the cavalry. So you need to take them and put them in like infantry and cavalry, and that makes the infantry and cavalry slightly better. I don't know what you do, but you know, for instance, if you've got that character in there, they gain stubborn, and having the strategy so they can hide at the back, a bit like Skaven can, or that maybe they're in the back rank all the time, they lead from the back, given that rule. But you can put them in like a Jade Lancers list, or and it gives them maybe it gives them like permanent stubborn or something like that. That's an option. Or maybe gives them immune to psychology, or just, you know what I mean. And you know, you then make the strategist something that like makes infantry better, and so you want to take them to kind of go down that route. And then of course you need to make something that, you know, you need to correct the artillery and the balloons to make them worse. But then you could like create like really flavorful armies where essentially people are taking like loads of strategists and magistrates and sticking them in like units of infantry and whatever, and you know, you have a proper infantry horde. Like you could have like a proper terracotta army with sentinels and shit, which would be great. And then the Shugengan stuff, you know, is pretty good on its own, really, to be honest. And Miao Ying is arguably broken, but anyway. Yeah, well done to Arvid, Rosalie, and oh no, I didn't look at Mark's list. Sorry, nearly forgot. Carnosaur, double Carnosaur, nice. He's got. Has he got? He hasn't got the. He's only gone for Scar Veterans, which is fine. Lizardmen have like the second best weapon in the game. By the way, just in case you weren't aware. I shall show you this second best weapon in the game. Doop. And Blade of Revered Zunki. Strength +1, no armor or ward saves. You can have regen. No armor or ward saves, right? Zunki. It's got 5 attacks. It's got strength 5, right? So that's strength 6. So weapon skill 6, strength 6, 5 attacks, no armor or ward save. Furious Charge. So actually 6 attacks on the charge, which you're probably going to get because you're on a massive thing with Swift Stride, right? Swift Stride, movement 7. So it's got the same, you know, it's pretty nasty, that combo. So do that. What am I doing? I'm going back over. Was it here? No. Here? No. Oh god, there's so many tournaments to get through. So I'm almost offended that he's not done that, but I can see what he's going for with Burning Blade. You know, he's trying to save a few points here. I don't know why you'd pay for the cavalry sword and the burning blade, the cavalry spear, sorry, and the burning blade, but whatever. Talisman of protection, absolutely fine. But if you've got the blade of revered Zonki, which is 65 points, you can afford the talisman of protection on top. So you can get your 5 at ward and your amazing magic weapon. Then we've got Skink Chief on a Ripidactyl. That seems to be really popular. I don't like Ripidactyls. I don't like the models. I don't like the lore. I don't really like them as a concept. They're just a bit weird. Like, because they don't feel very dinosaur-y, and I don't know why. They feel somewhat alien. But then again, does a floating frog feel dinosaur-y? Weirdly, yes. Weirdly, yes. Although it is a bit of reminiscent of that like animated like puppet thing where you got people in suits. The dinosaur cartoony thing. Well, it wasn't cartoony. It was live action. Not the daddy, not the mama. That's it. Not the mama. If you remember that at all. But the frog's a bit reminiscent of that to me. But anyway, 3 Bastillodons. I mean, they're okay. The solar engine's pretty nice. It's a bound spell with, like, I think power level 2. It's relatively easy to cast. I think you need like a 5 or a 6 to get it off. And it does, what, 3d3, strength 5, AP2, something like that. It does output quite a bit. It's Lizzie's. It does output... Oh, no. Idiot. It's a special. They do come with significant... Now, 175, right? They do come with significant problems, right? So you got this magic missile, 3d3, strength 5, AP2, flaming, and of course, they're magical because it's a magical missile. Friendly cold-blooded units have +1 modifier to their initiative, whilst within 6 inches of one or more. Which, is okay. I mean, the Solar Radiance thing, it might as well not exist because their initiative is so shit anyway. Like, everything's initiative 2 or below, so it really doesn't make that much difference. Apart from Skinks, but they rely... I guess Skinks do rely on initiative to, like, go first, but then, they're not that good. They're initiative 4, so going up to 5 from 4 is okay. I mean, it does mean that you're striking ahead of great weapons, whereas 4 you're simultaneous with great weapons that have been... So 4 is like a landmark number, because basically if you get charged with great weapons, you're probably striking at initiative 4. So having an initiative of higher than 4 means you're always going first against great weapons, apart from if they're wielded by elves or Slaneshi things. Of course, there's exceptions. And so, yeah, I mean, pretty cool, but the +1 initiative thing might as well not exist. I'd rather save the points and not have it if I were writing the rules myself. Toughness 5 is awful. Like, this thing is like basically a massive ankylosaur, which means it's got massive armoured plates on the back of it that are way, way, way thicker than any armour ever... Well, than... way thicker than almost any armour ever produced. So in terms of, they don't cover them. They only cover, the back, and they're really for, they're not for, but I mean, they still are very, 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 their hide is incredibly thick. And if you've ever seen like rhino hide, it would be pretty similar to that, but arguably even tougher, because like lizards, big lizards have scales. So if you've ever seen like a Komodo dragon skin, like, it's really, really, really super tough, and it's really tough to get through. Even the skin they've shedded is actually quite tough. Like, you'd struggle to, well, you wouldn't struggle, but if it's freshly shedded skin, and you can go to like some zoos and have a look, and they shed their skin pretty often, you can have a bit of a feel of it, but like, even that would be quite difficult to slice through. So their armor save, the rules as written are pretty much a bit of a joke. Like, the armor value should definitely be 2 up, and they should have something that makes them, gives them extra defense against cannons, for instance. So, for instance, they should have like a strength 5 thing, but I don't know, give them a special rule that if they're struck by an attack that has a strength 6 or greater, then they ignore the armor piercing value of the attack, or something like that. I think that would be quite cool. And 4 wounds is a problem because it's nothing considering the size of the bloody things. But anyway, that's my critique of the Bastiladon rules. Here we go. So 3 Bastiladons, 3 Riptactyls. Again, they're great. Like, don't get me wrong, I can see why people are picking them. I just don't like them. A load of Skink Skirmishers, because you need that. A big block of Saurus, well, a big-ish block of Saurus Warriors, just to sit on objectives, really. Saurus Warriors are quite good. They've got 2... They're a bit weird, because they've got 2 attacks each. They're Strength 4, they've Toughness 4. They've got, I think, light armor rather than heavy armor and shields. I'd prefer them to have heavy armor, or at least have that as an upgrade, if that's not already a thing, and I'm just making it up. Saurus Warriors start off with heavy armor. Sorry, so shut up, Dan. Ignore that. Do I think they should be able to get a full plate? No, I don't think so. I think that'd be too much. But you know, they've got a decent profile, and they're initiative 1, so you know they've got the same initiative as if they have great weapons. They just can't take them. They can take thrusting spears, which is okay because they've got multiple attacks. But then basically, if you're charging into them, they are infantry, so they get to effectively fight in 3 ranks. Loads and loads of attacks coming at you at strength 4. Meh. The thrusting spear giving you an initiative of +1. You can give them another +1 initiative with a Bastiladon, so you can get them up to 3 if they're charged in the front. Hardly. It's not really that much to write home about, is it? The attacks are not at strength 4 are nice, but they've got no AP. So, like, again, difficult to get a value out of, I think. Right, where the hell were we? That's still Canada. Here we go. Right. Yeah, so decent list. Really interesting. Well done for getting 3rd with it. Like, seriously well done for getting 3rd. That's the usual place you see Lizardmen. So, yep, absolutely bang on trend with Lizardmen. Well done for meeting everybody's expectations. Cool. Staying, this is a 1,500 point tournament. This is the Netherlands. I thought we'd moved. Anyway, we're over to the Netherlands. Bloodstorm, October 25, Undead Uprising. 2 Vampire Count list. Arvid da Costa again. 2 Vampire Count list and a Wild Herd list. Sorry, I've just got to... cool, that's fine. And interesting 2 wins, 2 draws for the top 3. So that's... what, did they both all draw with each other twice? I wonder if that's what happened. Lots and lots of draws here. Really interesting tournament result, this. But 1,500 points, so not that bothered about the lists. But well done to Nick, Wurzak, Boris D, and Arvid da Costa again for. Can I have a look at his profile? Rank 1 in the Netherlands, of course. Interesting. It's almost like the Masters thing. You need like because like continental Europe is like. You know, it's actually quite easy to travel around. Like, it's arguably easier to get from Paris to Berlin than it is to get from, like, London to anywhere. So, like, it's much easier to... And also, like, Belgium, the Netherlands, you know, you've got north of France, and you got the sort of the top... Then you got Denmark and the northwestern part of Germany are all pretty close in terms of like. So you got a lot of, and of course you got that's Luxembourg there as well, isn't it? So you got all these nations that are actually really, really close together. It's a bit like you know, if you're American, it's a bit like where all the states all get a bit. You know, on the eastern seaboard, you get like loads of states that are all quite small and they're all kind of jammed in together. It's a bit like that in terms of like commutability between states. So those states are actually really close together. So it's almost like you need like a little regional cluster of them for like Masters purposes. Because the lines on the map are just historic lines on the map and they don't really matter anymore because of how the EU operate. Much the same as the lines on the map they only really matter if you're a criminal, right? And if you're not a criminal in the United States, the borders don't massively matter. It's all US. Well, actually, no, that's not true, is it? Because under current, I don't want to get too far into politics. That used to be true. There was a lot of harmonisation, but I think successive presidents have given the states more ability to pass their own laws in the United States. So actually, the boundaries kind of do matter quite a bit nowadays. I realise whilst I'm saying that, and reproductive rights and all the rest. It's a pretty strange legal landscape in America at the moment for a whole variety of reasons, which I'm not going to get into. And I could do, but that's the other meeting, the other day, the one down the docks with the funny hats and shoes. Right, Ziegenorks Hunt 2025. This took place in Nordrhein-Westfalen. Siegen. Where's that? Sounds German. It is German, I think. Not sure. Germany, yes. Oh, it's near Bonn. Oh, it's not near Bonn at all, is it? Is that Black Forest? It's well in, isn't it? I thought it was a bit nearer Luxembourg than that. You see what I mean about like Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, sort of the northeast of this bit, and like even up to Denmark. This bit, there's plenty of like transport links going all the way through here, so it's actually relatively easy to. I'm given to understand, of course. I don't live there, I don't know, but I'm sure the people around there can tell me that everything's fairly well joined up, so it's relatively easy to. For instance, get from Brussels to Amsterdam. Like there seems to be a decent road running most of the way there. Anyway, well done to Seb, Hans, and Gastor for getting top 3 there. It's only 6 people, so I just wanted to mention it. This is the first time we're seeing results from Germany, but we are going to look at some lists soon. Stefan Oefler, well done for winning this one. Rise of the Old World in Mannheim with High Elf Realms. Marcus Lurchel and Bernd Heilmann coming in 3rd with Kingdom of Bretonia. We've got a Grand Cathay list. Let's have a look at the Kingdom of Bretonia list. Elise Ducard, good man, Bernd. Sehr good. I was going to say Z Gates then, for this is totally the wrong phrase. Anyway, sehr good. I forgot what congratulations. My German is terrible, really patchy. I did it for. I did French for GCSE. I did a bit of German. I was going to do it for GCSE. I wish I had done, to be honest. I'm much better at German than I am at French, but anyway. At the time, I'd just done French for longer, and I just went for the path of the easiest result. I was guaranteed to get a B in French, and like German, I might get an A, but I'd probably get a C. So I thought I'll do French and got a B. So anyway, Elise Ducard, we've got a Baron and a Duke and a Paladin. Pretty standard loadout that. The extra big unit of Men-at-Arms is a bit odd. Don't usually see 2 units. You usually see like one big unit of like 30 or 40. Or maybe even one smaller, actually. You tend to see a lot of individual units of Peasant Bowmen, like 13 to 20 Peasant Bowmen in like smaller units, just to dot them around and draw people into charges and stuff like that. Especially with the stakes, you can draw people into charges against the stakes, cause them damage, and then get a decent counter charge off, as long as you're sensible with where you put them. They're pretty good for that. And he's got the Banner of Chalon on these Pegasus Knights and the Banner of Honourable. So these Pegasus Knights probably go with the characters, and the Honourable Warfare are the ones that kind of hunt around for war machines, because they get reroll hits against stuff with missile weapons and, of course, war machines. So really decent list. Very similar to ones we've seen before. Presumably the Cathay will be quite similar to everything else we've seen. This one's got a Sentinel. It's gone for a Jade Sentinel. I think that's the best pick because it's got some good spells. It can pick a spell. Power level 3 is fantastic. 250 points is quite punchy though, so you need to get your points back somehow. And like I said, the Sentinels are a bit weird. He's got a couple of Grand Cannons. He's got no balloons. He's just got Miao Ying, Sugar Zaddy, and some Lancers. He's not done the Ring of Jet spam either. He's just got one of those. So actually, this is quite a nice Cathay list actually, and he came second with it. So well done, Marcus. That's a really good Cathay list that doesn't do anything in an overpowering fashion. So that's a very gentlemanly Cathay list, that one. It's about as gentlemanly as you can get, really. Have a look at Steve Peters. Absolute filth. No, his isn't absolute filth either. He's got a couple of balloons up here, and he's got a. I'm not sure why you'd want two separate units of Jade Warriors. I'd rather, yeah, not sure about that. Did he? He did make them Celestial Dragon Guard. Did he make one? He made one of those Celestial Dragon Guard as well. Yeah. Cool. And Stefan Erfler has a Dragony Prince. He's got another Dragony Prince. Double Dragon. Both Princes. Both great weapons. Star Dragon, Armour of Calador, which is where he gets his full plate armour from. Not that you really need full plate, because the Dragon's got a 4-up save inbuilt anyway, so I don't... does the Prince come with full plate as standard? I don't know. If it doesn't, you don't need that upgrade here, because you've not got anything else that improves your armour save, so you're just paying... Let's just go and check. Yeah, he does start with... So he's paid 6 points there that he didn't need to. Where are we? Yeah, so he's paid 6 points here that he didn't need to. Not that it'll make that much of a difference, but still. And then he's got some Silver Helms, Alarian Reavers. I actually really like the Ring of Fury, which is the on the Illyrian Reavers, so it gives them a bit of punch in combat. I think that's a really decent combo. So, for instance, if we go to High Elves, you take a Illyrian Reavers, you take a Harbinger, and go down here and take Ring of Fury. Then, what the Ring of Fury does is it gives you this spell, Hammer Hand, power level 1, so it's cast on a 6, 2d3 strength 4 AP2, hits, that makes this unit, for 113 points, like maybe take 7, so you got a bit of redundancy, take a Musician, short bows, scouts? I don't know. But for that amount of points, you've got a unit that can probably take down a Cathayan cannon. And probably will, and it costs about the same amount of points. So this will probably get to the Cathayan cannon and probably kill it. So maybe even can take down 2. So it actually makes the Illyrian Reavers with the Ring of Fury, you know, it makes them pretty decent actually. Which I saw somewhere else, but oh god, I really need to get a wiggle on, because where are we up to? An hour and 16. I'm not even halfway through. This is going to be a mega one. Oh, don't player 3. Well done, player 3. He's played 5 games and they've not even put the names down. Yes, anyway, well done. Oh, no, did I actually look at the rest of it? And 2 Frostart Phoenixes seem to be getting quite popular. I don't know why. I know they're flying and flappy and toughness 6 and, you know, they've got a 4-up save and, you know, they are pretty good. But still, for 205 points, I mean, they're not... Right, let's have a look. The Fly 9, Swift Stride, 2 Stomps. Blizzard Aura makes stuff strike last. I guess, actually, if they come in to flank something that's already in combat, they make it strike last, which is a really useful ability. And do they do any damage? 4 attacks at strength 6. AP2 is not bad. And, of course, they only call Fear, not Terror. I'm reevaluating those. They may be better than I thought they were. Maybe in the current meta they're better than I thought they were. Because they're not going to die to 1 hit from a cannon either. So you're going to have to shoot 2 cannons at it. So, yeah. Rise of the Old World Fort. Well done, Stefan, Marcus and Bent. Then also in Germany, start of the month, Thomas Fischer won this tournament with Toldo Monrubia and Marcus Sonnebent coming in... second and third. Double Vampire Count Renegade list at the top, so well done to them. I've been going an hour and 20, so I might start skipping over some lists if they look pretty standard. This looks pretty standard for a Vampire Count list, apart from the 2 black coaches. That's interesting. That's an interesting inclusion. Yeah, I think I need to be better in terms of like dividing up the world into videos. because I spent like half an hour on the US when I could have popped Canada in there. Do you know what? Why haven't I got a pen handy? What I was going to do was start writing down timestamps. So I've got paintbrushes, but I can write down timestamps on a paintbrush. But I don't have a pen handy. Oh no. Right, okay, let's do that. Oh, I'll just have to do it afterwards. Right, das Erwachen der alten Welt, which means the Erwachen, resurrection or awakening, something like that. The awakening of the old world, I think, something like that. Seb Dickel managed to win with Skaven. Exciting. Hans Werner Falpel came second with Empire of Man, and Mikhail Hauser came third with Empire of Man. Let's have a look at this Skaven list. Let's not, because it's not there. But well done, Seb. Moving over to Norway now, the Turnsberg table. How do you pronounce the O with the line through it? I don't know. Because I know the O with like the little circle above is like an O sound, or it's like right in the back of the throat, isn't it? But is that similar, or is it like an umlaut for in German where it goes So is it Turnsberg tabletop? I don't know. Any notes would be great. Well done to Antonio Barbuto, Christian Vestul, one of those O's again, apologies, and Sebastian Kielen. For coming third with Skaven, excellent. Let's have a look at that. I'll just flick through these lists. Apologies if these are yours. I mean no disrespect. I'm just running massively over time, and I don't want to spend 3 hours recording this video, which, if I go through it with the amount of detail I have done so far, seems likely. Right, pretty standard. Yeah, nothing really worth writing home. I mean, decent list. Well done for winning 3 games with it. It's always difficult to do that. Going 100% in any tournament is always just a challenge, so well done. Vile Tide Spam, Razor Gores, nice. Primal War Herd. Not a very big Primal War Herd, but still a 46 Gore Herd. Ooh. An absolutely smashing unit there. It's got 400 points there, and presumably the Beast Lord goes in that as well. And the Battle Standard Bearer, and maybe one of these Brave Shamans. So that's like nearly 1,000. It's getting on for 1,000 points in one unit. God, imagine. Oh, you'd be desperate to break that, wouldn't you? Run it down. Oh my God, it's like you've won the game if you do that. I mean, it'd be quite difficult to do, but I think I've got a few combos that could do it. And then, as somebody probably did, that's probably why he lost, because he lost his big Death Star. And then Kielan with Renegades. This one I'm interested in. So we've got a Gracier, level 3, on foot. No characters, pretty much. Warlock Engineer. Clan Rats, 3 times them with a Rattling Gun. 24 in each unit, which is interesting. 2 units of 11 Giant Ratties to sort of get in the way. 12 Jezzails, 12 Globadiers, 8 Gutter Runners, 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, and a Hell Pit. Yeah, I think this is the right direction to go with Skaven, to be honest. Because characters are just pretty rubbish in general. I know people are trying to build lists where they've got the Mega Sword of Death on the Warlord and that kind of stuff, but it's just, why wouldn't you just take more Jezzails? Jezzails, I think, are the trick, and I think Poison Wind Globadiers are a lot better than people think, because of how manoeuvrable they are and what they allow you to do, and so yeah. And they also, like the Globadiers, they also allow you to screen your Rattling Guns and other things a lot more effectively, so they can essentially be the screen in front of the Jezzails, And ideally, you want them so far in front that the Giselles get an extra round of shooting, basically. So there's a lot you can do with those little screens on the tabletop. So yeah, well done to Seb Kjælen. Where are we now? We're now in New Zealand. Waihi RTT. Waihi RTT. Liam, well done to Liam, Tom and Jacob. Wild Herd winning, Errantry Crusade, Orc and Goblin Tribes. I should have done these guys with Australia. Apologies. But here we are. Orc and Goblin Tribes, Fanatics. It's not your typical Orc and Goblin. Is this a different points limit? 2,000 points. No. So we've got Goblin, and Troll Horde allies. So we've got a Troll Hag and a Troll Mob. Interesting. I don't know why that listed. It's got a Ragnarok. Why did that? How did this? It's a cool list. Like, it's interesting. But I don't see how it's managed to. Where does the damage come from? You've got like 3 Fanatics. Squig Herds are quite nasty, but like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there at all. That's confused me. Tom Cochrane has an Errantry Crusade list. Looks very much like most Errantry Crusade lists. Wild Herd list looks a lot like a lot of Wild Herd lists. I'm interested into why we've got, like, we always seem to have Gore Herd and then a Primal War Herd separate to the Gore Herd. I want to know what that's all about because I don't know. So again, if anybody's still listening an hour and a half in, you know, please put something in the comments, because that seems to be like, and they're both getting buffed up. Like, they're both getting like magic banners and magic items and stuff. So it's not like one's sacrificial. So they're both doing something. I just don't understand why you wouldn't just have a big Primal War Herd. Why you need 2. And why the other one is a Gore Herd instead. Don't know what's going on. Is it Hammer and Anvil? So you got the Gore Herd and then the Primal War Herd to supposed to like smash in? Don't know. But anyway, Jacob. Well done to Jacob. Everybody wants to rule old world. Everybody wants to rule old world. I guess. Tom and Jacob. Is it the same guys? Probably the same list, I'd imagine. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And then Seb Manning again. The High Elves. I've seen him before. I think this list is pretty similar. Again, Seb, have a look at like dropping that down to 7 and sticking the Ring of Fury on them. You'll thank me later. Oktoberfest, where are we now? 1,500 point tournament, still in New Zealand. I'm not going to look at this because it's only 1,500 points, but still. They actually did like 2 people drawing. So there's joint third place for Mark Andrew and Liam Davies. So well done to those guys, particularly Liam for coming third with Ogre Kingdoms. The Fat Boys ride again. Corey for coming second, and Francis McDonald for managing to win this with Orc and Goblin Tribes. With a pretty weird list where there's one of everything, it seems. Which is pretty cool. Like, Orcs and Goblins can do that. They're strong enough to do that. So they've just got a lot of everything. So you end up with a lot of units that are slightly subpar, but I guess in a 1,500 pointer makes sense. Moving over to Switzerland now. Where have we got? Switzerland and then Sweden and 2 Switzerland, 2. We've not seen. I don't think we've seen anything from Sweden for ages. But anyway, OCB tournament, 2,000 points. 15 people turned up. Matty OK managed to finish third with Nair Khan Royal House. Well done to Matty OK, and well done, of course, to Oliver and Javier. I guess he's got Royal House, but he's gone for 3 Mortuary Priests, which is quite exciting. He's gone for a Tomb King with the language of the priest. No idea what that does. On a dragon. Language of the priest. Oh, now, that's that makes him a level 1 wizard, doesn't it? Team prince. Where's the? Oh, is that one the language of the priest? It just gives him a rise and a level 1 wizard. Is that what language of the priest does? I think that's that. Which is cool. I think also he might be able to do it in... I mean, I really like Cetra, but I need to take that list to a... I've got so much I want to do. So little time to do it in. So we've got some chariots, infantry cohorts. Where's the royal cohort? Honestly. You can lump those two together and then give them all poison attacks. This is one of the great things about the Royal Host, is that you can basically take a unit which is 10... Look, I'll show you here. This is my infantry cohort. So I've got 32 archers, 24 warriors. So basically it's 8 by whatever. So you've got 8 by 3 Royal Host warriors. These have all got spears. So in combat, you're fighting 3 ranks of spears, basically, if you're going in the front. And then, of course, these are all behind. And because they get volley fire, basically half of those can shoot. So I've essentially got a massive unit of what is effectively 56 skeletons, which can puther out 16 archer shots every single turn, and the magic stuff, I've got them. Where have I got the? I've got the poison thing in there. Oh, Amulet of the Serpent is on the champion, because that one can take 30 points. So you give them all poison attacks, and you give them all a razor standard as well. So, you give them all magical extra AP. And you probably actually want to roll for the wounds, so you get the razor. But anyway, it just gives it loads and loads of cool stuff that it can do. So look at that kind of arrangement. I'd suggest, if you're going to do that. Tomb Guard, Death Mask of Carnot, genius, because it's turned that unit into a terror-causing unit, effectively, which is really, really good. And then some other stuff. Necropolis Knights, let me know how you got on with those. I think they're rubbish, but, if you've got good effects out of them, let me know. Tomb Scorpions are great. Absolutely, hands down. Well done, coming in third. Wildherd, Oliver Weibel. Has a pretty standard, some Razor Gores, Primal Warherd, some Goreherds as well, again, with upgrades. So, they're being invested in, so that's interesting. And Javier AL, Gorefuck, is his handle. And he's gone for a few Fanatics, a bit of Artillery, and a big blob of Blackhawks. And a Blackhawk on a Wyvern, of course. And, some other stuff. A couple of war bosses. One's in a chariot. One's a BSB on foot. Okay. So that one just sort of floats around in the middle of the army because it's got no unit it can join, I don't think. I don't think Orcs can join Blackhawks. Well, maybe it can join the Night Goblins, but I thought only Night Goblins can join Night Goblins. I can't remember. I don't know whether there's actually any joining rules actually on the table, or whether that's just army selection rules. But whatever. Nice. And well done for winning. And then we've got War Tavern. Rencontre d'automne. Don't know what that means. Well, autumn, something. Meeting in the autumn, something like that. Autumn meet. Mathieu, Sebastian Filou, and Michi coming in third, second, and first, respectively. Well done to these guys. We've got a Britannia list, which is Lady Elise Ducar, top man. And then some decent stuff. Chalon's Honourable Warfare, nice. This seems to be... We're going back to 2 units of Pegasus Knights again, which is interesting. Because originally it was like 2 units of like 3 or 4, and then it went to like 1 unit of 5 or 6, and you just have a big mega unit with like all your characters in. And now it's going back to 2 small units, one of which becomes a bit Death Starry with a character. So maybe like a small unit of 3 with like a couple of characters is like your main punchy unit. But then you got another unit of 4 that fly around the side and go after like war machines, screens, all that kind of stuff, and they will earn their points by the end of the battle, because they're difficult to pin down. And then we've got a vampire count list, which has a lot of die walls, actually. You don't see them very often. So that's nice. And no, he's only got the zombies as like his big... He's got a Strigoi. Wow. On a Terrorgeist. You don't see that very often at all. And he's got another Terrorgeist. So he's got a character on a Terrorgeist. He's got these Blood Knights. He's got a Master Necromancer on foot with Cetra and Ruby Ring. So he wants it to do a bit of output. It's not just there to res stuff. It's not got a lot to res, really. It's only got one unit of 20 zombies because everything else is... I guess he's got a couple of Banshees. He's got the White Lord who he's not put on a horse. So does that go in the unit of zombies? I don't know. I don't know how this list works. I guess unit of zombies, then he's got a few infantry characters to like hide behind it, and then he can screen it with some wolves as well. He's got some fell bats to go around their flanks with like the Terrorgeist and the Strigoi and the Blood Knights. Maybe they stick around the main thing just to get like a counter punch off. Don't know. Really weird list. Well done. And then we've got a Walls of the Sea list where you got a bloke on a Manticore with a Mark of Khorne. That, I suspect, might be a mistake, and he might have just about got away with it, because the problem with Frenzy is like you lose control, and then you have to overrun. It's the having to overrun and having to pursue that really screws you with Frenzy. Like the extra attack, don't get me wrong, is very nice, but you're better off just taking a few Eye of the Gods instead, and taking something a bit more useful, like Tzeentch for flaming attacks. Or Nurgle for the reroll 6s to hit, or maybe even Slaanesh for the +1 initiative in the first round of combat. All of those are quite good. Khorne just gives you Frenzy and nothing else. And once you've lost Frenzy, you've lost it. So, you know, I mean, yeah, you can get it back, but you know, because he's got a Manticore, so he can always get re-frenzied. But he seems to have. He's got an Exalted Champion who's Khorne. And that one's got the Crown of Everlasting Conquest on a chariot. He's got 2 Favour of the Gods there and extra arms. So, yeah, he is definitely leaning into getting as many attacks with the Ogre Blade as possible, which is probably why he's taken Khorne. But, interesting. And he's got a Shaggoth and some Dragon Ogres. That's nice. Chalice of Dark Rain. Don't see that very often either. So that's nice to see. Some Huskarls as well. Lots of Berserkers. There's not like a big block of anything to really like go up against. There's lots of smaller things, which actually makes it quite a difficult list to fight against, because it's like, well, what do you actually target? Where are the points? And as the points are actually quite well spread, it's quite difficult to work out. If it'd be difficult to play against this army because it's difficult to work out what bits to kill. That's the it's difficult to work out your targeting priorities, and you'll probably get the wrong targeting priorities, because I don't think there is a right one. So that is actually a very good list. Over to Sweden. YLVA Old World Tour number 1. Skaven coming in 3rd. Mortuary Cult 2nd. Ogre Kingdoms 1st. Okie doke. 2,000 points. Mournfang Cav, Iron Blasters. This is where the damage probably comes from. He's got a Thunder Tusk here for a Tyrant. Don't know why. He's got a Bruiser on foot. Good idea. Some Iron Guts, some Bulls, and some Noblars. This is all pretty standard core stuff. You kind of want all that. He's probably spent a bit too much on core. I'd rather have another unit of Mournfang Cav if you can fit that in at all. I mean, you've got another 173 points that you can generate here. They cost 380, so you need another 140. Maybe get rid of the Thunder Tusk, and then you can have another 4 Mournfang Cav. And, probably get rid of the Iron Guts, to be honest. I prefer Bulls, personally. But it's only my personal preference, of course. You do what you like. Mortuary Cults list here, coming in 2nd. Pretty standard Mortuary Cults list. Nothing. He's got an extra Scorpion. Normally you only see 2, so that's interesting. And Skaven coming in 3rd. Opposite to what I saw earlier. Loads on characters. And then a few units with Jezzail's. I think Giselles are pretty much the cheat code for Skaven. As many Giselles as possible. Right, that's told me what I need to build. Then we've got LBK, Warhammer the Old World Tour, number 6. Also took place in Sweden, in Östergötlands. Eric, Morgan and Eric winning out of 14 people, 3 games. Eric came in third. Eric Damble came in third with a Cathay list, which has a Miao Ying in it, so it's got less of everything else. Only has one balloon. So just one of everything really in that list. Interesting. That was my first Cathay list that I wrote as well too. But yeah, I think it works well, and I think it's fairly balanced, and I think just one of everything, doesn't make you overpowered and gives your opponent a bit of a chance as well. So that's quite a nice Cathay list, as nice as Cathay lists get, I guess. Because because it's a new thing too, and you do want to give your opponent one of, like, you don't want to not have a balloon, because then your opponent's almost disappointed because they're like, oh, I get to play Cathay, I wonder how I'm going to deal with their balloons, and then you get to play them and they don't have any balloons, and you're like, I'd spent like the last 5 minutes psyching myself up to kill balloons, and now there's none of them. Then we've got a Renegade Blade of Revered Zunki here on the Old Blood on Carnosaur, top man with Talisman of Protection. That's exactly the right thing. Then a Slan Mage Priest. Yeah. Good. We've got a Temple Guard for the Slan Mage Priest to go in. We've got some Skink Skirmishers. That's your call lot. That's very sensible. Ripperdactyls. I know why they're in the list. I just don't like the models or the lore. Not sure. Oh, Engine of the Gods for the +1 to cast. And then some Cold One. I really like Cold One Riders. I think they're good. Like, the rules are good. It's just stupidity that you got to deal with. But, now you've got better skills to deal with stupidity. I think that, can be good. And then Chaos Dwarf, Renegades, Castellan, Seneschal, Khan, Demon Smith. No big Demon Smith. It's not the Sorcerer, is it? It's the Master Demon Smith or whatever. He's got a lot of Hobgoblins, a big unit of Blunderbusses. Nice, love to see that. They get to because if they got 20 in the unit, I think they get to reroll 1s to wound. So he's just got over that, and they do lots and lots of hits, and he's got the Razor Standard as well. So Blunderbusses with Razor Standard is lethal, absolutely nasty. Loads and loads of hits, loads of 6s to wound, which will be hitting at like AP 3 or 4 or something. He's got an Iron Demon, because of course you do. He's got a Tarruk, who are actually quite good. Hobgoblin Wolf Riders are possibly the best light cavalry in the game, so he's taking a unit of those. Of course he does, because that's the sensible thing to do. He's got a good sort of mix of Chaos Dwarves and Hobgoblins in this list, actually. It's quite nice. That's a nice list. I like that. It kind of feels right. And he deserved to win, I think, because of that. So that's a really nice list. Then we had Poznan. So in Poland, moving over to Poland, in Poznan, Maritul, Leszczo and Krzysztof coming in third, second and first. So Maritul, with his expeditionary force, has a Burlock and some other characters, a Thane to do some crossbow magic stuff, a couple of engineers. I'd take a Sapper as well. Sappers are great. Stick them in your rangers, so if somebody charges your rangers, they've got to take a dangerous terrain test. Happy days. And then we've got some bolt throwers, a couple of cannons, a load of scout gyrocopters. Oh no, you can take some units in core. 10 gyrocopters, all scout gyrocopters, which are really good because they've got weapons. Sorry, they've got BS4, so their clatter guns hit more often. So they're really, really good. They are quite flimsy, so they do die quickly, but still they do kick out a ton of damage. And it's gone for 3 organ guns with function over form, which means they get to move and shoot, but they are -1 toughness, so they are easier to shoot themselves. But move and shoot with organ guns is pretty. This is a really nasty expeditionary force list. Well done, Maritul. I like that. And then Leszczo with his Orc and Goblin list has a Weird Knob, a War Boss, some Night Goblins, massive unit of Night Goblins. Don't typically see that. You typically see like 20, 30 gobbo size units with just loads and loads of fanatics. 2 Doom Divers and a Rock Lobber. All good. All good. Not sure about the Boar Chariot. Don't really know why that's there, but there's better things. But like another Rock Lobber, for instance. If you're going into this, you really want to go full balls deep, like artillery, get a couple of bullies, get a mangler squig as well to stick around there and sort of look after them a bit. And yeah, cool. And then the Grand Cathay, Krishos, I think that's Krishos. Apologies for the pronunciation. Who's 2 Sky Lanterns, Miao Ying, a couple of cannons, I don't know. Yeah. Decent sized unit of Jade Warriors. He's gone for Ring of Jet here. I mean, you probably should have gone for Ring of Jet there instead of the Alchemist's Mask and just Ring of Jet spam. Monkey King's Wisdom, again, yeah, it is way too good. That's why you see everybody having it. And the other thing is you compare it with Illusion. So like 2d6 Strength 10, AP, what is it, 4? It's just so horrible. Like, I don't know why they've... It's like... I don't... It just really frustrates me because it's like obviously... Oh, that's the bloody... I need the Lord. It's just like obviously stupid. Like AP 4, Strength 10, multiple wounds D3. Oh, it's got to strike last and it takes 2... It's like, for God's sakes, come on. Like, it's too... AP4 is like basically no armor saves, right? So a Strength 10 weapon that ignores armor saves and does D3 wounds. It's just far too good for... Like... Anyway. Because you compare it to the one that everybody else can buy for the same points, right? Strength plus 2 is never going to be Strength 10, right? AP2 is not AP4. Yes, it doesn't strike last. Yes, this is in one hand. Yeah, I get all that. But still. You know, come on. And that's Poland. Right. Oh, that's my thing. I don't know why I keep having that there. Right, so let's we did Australia. Let's finish off this mega video, 1 hour 46 for Canada, with going through Canada. So Jordan McCarthy. Oh, is that Jordan from what's he called? There is a YouTube channel where there's a Canadian chap called Jordan who runs it, and I forget what it's called. I wonder if that's him taking the troll head and winning 5. Anyway, Michael Amunde, with Empire of Man coming in 3rd. Scott McMillan. This took place in Shearwater. Old World at the SKC, Surviving a Bug. And Scott McMillan coming 2nd with... So congrats to those 3. Let's have a look at some lists. Michael Amunde has a Wizard Lord. Has a Captain. Has another Captain. Has a Priest. Has an Empire Engineer. Just an Empire Engineer. Has a Great Cannon. 2 of them. So 2 Great Cannons. Has... some Outriders, just 4 of them, small units. Captain, this is not Nuln, so he hasn't got the long range thing. He's got some Inner City Knights of the White Wolf. Knights of the White Wolf are really good. They're proper like thump and grind stuff. And the reason they're really good is they're wolf hammers, because the wolf hammers are like lances when they charge and halberds when they're not. So halberds with AP2, by the way. So they get +1 strength and AP2 when they're not charging, and +2 strength AP2 when they are, which makes them really, really super good. They do require 2 hands though, so you lose your shields. But with multiple attacks, full plate and barding, they still kick out a lot of damage. And they've got Furious Charge, so they get an extra attack on the charge. So they're very, very good. Very, very good Knights of the White Wolf. He's got 2 units of Empire Knights. So there's a lot of Knights going on in this one. There's not a lot of, like, place. There's not a lot of... There's nothing, in fact, that can hold a position. Apart from maybe the Inner City Knights. Maybe that's his tactic. Maybe they're the target that he wants people pointing at, and then he's going to countercharge and do stuff with other things. And the steam tank. The steam tank is a lot of presence, to be fair. So yeah, I don't know how that one works. Really interesting. Minotaur Bloodherd. You got a Doom Ball with full plate goes on. Like, this is the reason that they shouldn't have done this Chaos Armor nonsense with Beastmen, because everybody takes full plate Chaos Armor if they can afford it. Because why wouldn't you? Like a 5-up ward and a 4-up armor save, why wouldn't you want every single character in your army to have that? And now you've made it extremely common. Every single character in the unit has it. So, Minotaur Horde, Warhounds, Ungors, some Gorgons, and a Shaggoth. Gorgons are interesting. You don't see them very often because I think they're as easy to kill as like a standard giant, but they do kick out tons and tons of damage. They're actually a bit like comparable, I guess, to Cathayan Sentinel. Perhaps, I don't know actually. Where are they? Are they rare? They probably should be, shouldn't they? Oh. Hold on. Where's it gone? Oh. Well, they're not core. Am I just... Where's the Gorgon? Can Wild Herd not have Gorgon then? How bizarre. Minotaur. Oh, yeah, I've put 3 in my Minotaur Blood. This is my Minotaur Blood Herd concept at the moment, by the way. Loads of Gorgons, because I actually quite like them. So they got toughness 6 wounds. So and they got light armor, right? They got regen 6+, so that's okay. They've also got Swallow Whole, which is a cool ability. So during the command sub phase, if it's actually in combat, it can make a Swallow Whole attack and might kill an enemy model. And if you do that, then you heal a wound. So it can get wounds back. It's quite difficult because you've got to be in combat at the start of your command phase. So you've got to still be in combat after, like, their turn. So that's quite difficult. It does, of course, have Blood Greed. So when it gets Frenzied, it starts off with Frenzy, but Frenzy gives it an extra 2 attacks. It's got D3 Stomp attacks, which as a Behemoth, it's, AP2. Which is quite nice. So it has 5, probably 7 attacks because it's frenzied. It does have Primal Fury as well, so it can take a leadership test and reroll hit rolls of 1. So it takes a leadership test at 9, which is probably going to pass. Weapon skill 4 isn't great, but it does get to reroll hit rolls of 1. And then it's got Cleaver Limbs, which have Killing Blow and Monster Slayer, so they're really good attacks. Strength at 6, AP2, 7 attacks. You know, especially with the Monster Slayer as well, like they're going to carve through stuff. So they're pretty comparable to, I would say, Sentinels in terms of what they do. Gorgons are good. It's just actually in the standard like Wild Herd style list. There's lots of other little stuff that's also really good. So. But within the Minotaur Blood Herd, because these are now special, you can now take 3 of them, which I think makes them pretty decent. So a couple of big Minotaur herds. I need to sort this list out a little bit, but my wife just sent me a random address. Am I supposed to be somewhere? I hope not. So yeah, a couple of Gorgons and a Shaggoth it's got full plate Chaos Armor. It's got Armored Hide 2, I think, as well. So it's got a 2-up save now, and a great weapon. So that actually, I think maybe the Shaggoth and the 2 Gorgons is a better combo than 3 Gorgons, because that gives you some options, I guess, for something that's a bit more survivable. Because Shaggoth only has toughness 5, I think, but you can get it up to a 2-up save. So, what do you want? That's nice. So, yeah, well done, Jordan. Oh, that's the only second. Well done, Scott. Decent list. Well, Jordan coming in first with Troll Hag, Ogdruds, a War Boss, some Troll Mobs, some Wolf Chariots. What happens here? Oh, poor boy mob. Right, so the Orc War Boss on a Wyvern, cheap dragon thing. As survivable as dragon. Like, it's got 8 wounds, toughness 6. What are we up to? Probably 5 up save, 5 up ward, 5 up regen, sorry. Armor meteor, sorry, 3 up save, 5 up regen, impact hit. So pretty decent in terms of output there. He's got some decent output from the Orc Ball Boys. These are the more reliable bit that can go around the flank. He's then got a big block of lots of troll mobs and a hag to sort of go through the middle and control the territory. He's then got some wolf riders because they're pretty decent light cavalry, and then some wolf chariots to do a bit of counter punching, go through, kill characters, war machines, all that kind of stuff. That's their job. So yeah, pretty decent list that. I can see what I did well. Initially quite confusing, but I think once we figured it out. Oh, that one didn't happen obviously. Then we had a 1,000-point tournament. Well done to Trevor, Josh, and Tom. Not going to look at the list because it's only 1,000 points, but just wanted to say well done to those guys for winning that. A 2,200-point tournament at the Square-based Open. They didn't actually get their new comp in time for this, so we'll talk about that again. Save the best till last. Tournoi Warhammer, the old world Bastion Octobre, which is in Quebec, of course, where they still mandate French. So Vincent, Justine, and Sebastien coming in 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Vampire Counts, Errantry Crusade, Grand Cathay. This is a wholly unsurprising top 3. So Skaven Renegades coming 4th is exciting. Pity we don't have the list. But in fact, we may well do. Screw it, we're already up to 2 hours. Let's do 2 hours. Placings. Not that. Skaven. Please have a list. Yeah. So we've got a Skaven list. Oh my god. What the fuck? Assassins? Okay. L'âme de Guin. Has he done this so it has to be in French? You've got to credit the French for their control of their language, right? They're so good at it and so proud of it and so annoyingly proud of their own. No, everything must be in French. So we've got 2 with lame. Is that sword? Oh, great. Extra hand weapon. God damn it. So it's got a Master Assassin, 2 hand weapons. Lame de Guin. Why the hell do I change the language on this? Is it? It's down the bottom. Lame de Guin. Strength +1. Oh, a giant blade. Géant. Lame de Géant, I guess. I thought the G is always pronounced hard. Ash de Burrow. Don't know what that is. Ash de Burrow is the headsman's axe. So he's got killing blow. Okay, and that one's got a bit extra. And then he's got the Grey Seer, who's a general level 3, playing illusion. Berserker sword, warp zone tokens, or Tempest Orb, and Rubist Ruin, the Red Book of Ruin or something, I think. Is that one of the Skaven things? No, Ruby Ring of Ruin, obviously. So we've got the Ruby Ring of Ruin on the thing. Then we have a Technomage, or Technomage. What is it actually called? Warlock Engineer. Why can't I remember that? It's just Technomage has thrown me. Yeah, whatever. 30 Clan Rats Rattling Gun, 31 Clan Rats Rattling Gun, Giant Rats, Vermine de Choc. What the hell's a Vermine de Choc? Storm Vermin? Vermine de Choc. Shock meaning it's got to be storm. Yeah, Vermine de Choc. Storm vermin. So we've got some Vermine de Choc with Bouclier, Fang leader. Porte étendard. So standard bearer, musician, fang leader. Music. Oh no, what's bouclier? Shield. Is bouclier shield? Bouclier is a shield. Okay, didn't know that. Waterfire cannon. Canon et malfondre. Foudre. Malefoutre. Don't know what that means, literally. And Hellpit Abomination. So, pretty... I mean, these two little units of Storm Vermin are a bit weird. I don't know why they're there. But the rest of it's quite interesting. And 2 Master Assassins. That's also... You don't see them very often either. So, I don't know that they've really added anything, to be honest, to that. But well done, Frederic, for coming fourth with Skaven. Excellent work, even though it's out of 11. Vincent came with a Renegade Vampire Count list, which, not going to lie, looks pretty much like we've seen before. Crypt Ghouls are weird. Go zombies. Actually, don't go zombies because everybody does. Stick with your Crypt Ghouls. Actually, yeah, keep it there, and then some Blood Knights because they're freaking awesome. And then Sebastian with Grand Cathay, Miao Ying, Sugar Fire Rain. You don't see that's the only nice thing in this, and the fact that he's gone for a Gate Master. That's nice. Don't see them very often because they're awful, but. Yeah, that's a relatively nice Cathay list. That's not, massively over the top, although Cathay already are. But anyway, well done, Sebi. Well done. And all those who said... Right, so S-Bot. No, it's not S-Bot, is it? Because it's not online. No, it is S-Bot because it's open Toronto. So, we got 45 people. Val... I think he was probably the buy person, so he plays whenever they needed somebody for somebody else. So he's recorded all his results as a loss, which is very good of him. I doubt he lost all 4 games, but he might have done. So congrats to Irek, Brett, and Andy for coming 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Congrats in particular to Irek for getting 3rd with Wood Elves, because Wood Elves are in a pretty challenging spot at the moment. Also, congrats as well to Danny Stewart for coming in 4th with Skaven. Cathay, the highest place was Alex Webb at number 9, which is nice to see. Do we see Cathay being rubbish at any point? No, there was only one person decided to bring Grand Cathay to this tournament, and that was Alex Webb, and he did well. So, let's look at these top lists. So we've got a Wood Elf Realms list, Irek Drabek. He's got a Glade Lord, Catty Glade Lord on a dragon. He's got a Glade Lord who's a Berry Glade Lord on a stag. He's then got a Spell Singer. Quite a lot of Wild Riders. Some Beast Packs, which are just a Beast Keeper and a Hound. I don't know what they do. And then he's got some Wildwood Rangers with a Wizarding hat. So the Wildwood Warden has a Wizarding hat. Okie dokie. He's got some Warhawk Riders with a champion. I think that's a champion. Oh no, the Wind Rider's the champion. What's the Spirit of Kurnos? Don't know what's going on here. As you can see, I've written lots of Wood Elf lists and never quite been... Oh, I'm still French. Hold on. Wind Rider can take... what was it I was looking for? The Spirit of Kurnos. Spirit of Kurnos. It's not here. Is this a special list? No. Is that a special list? Maybe it is. I don't know. And then he's got some of these. Oh, this is probably a list that's written with old rules. So, have we got one up here? No. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, cool list. I really want to know actually what do these bloody What extra advantage? This is standard Grand Army. So what extra? Are they special? The Beast Pack things? No. Are they rare? Wood Elf Beast Pack. Hold on, hasn't he got... He had 3 of them. So they must be doing just 3. Or it's a Wild Hunt or something. So if you go 1 Deepwood Hound, and that's it. That's your unit. And the Deepwood Hound has... okay, so that makes the Beast Rider go the same. So you've got 2 models that move 9, have... do not have Swift Stride, but move 9. And the Beasts, so they've got unit strength 1, so they're still -1 to hit with shooting. And they get to reroll charges. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. The sun's getting in my eyes now. It's actually sunny today. It was really overcast yesterday, and now it's really sunny. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with that, to be honest. I don't know what they do. They are very cheap, don't get me wrong. So I guess for holding objectives and just... Actually, a lot of this is like have a unit in each quarter. So there's a few of these secondary objectives. I guess that's what they're for. Because I guess if they move 19, they cost 20 points. They're pretty much like... I don't know whether you remember in 40k with Sisters of Battle, you used to be able to... I think you still can. But you used to be able to get like little Crusader units. You used to get 2 Crusaders and they were like 40 points for 2 of them. And they were great for like secondaries. So everybody had like 2 or 3 units of these little 2 Crusader models, just so that they could do things like, you know, secure objectives and stuff like that. So that's probably what they're doing. And then he's got enough stuff with reserve move. He hasn't got a lot of ambushes, to be honest, but that's a really interesting list. I'd love anybody who was there to tell me how that worked, because I think I've got it, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of speed here, and then there's these Wildwood Rangers with a wizard in, which presumably he puts like a forest somewhere near the middle objective, or somewhere near a middle objective, and then just drops these in the forest and then says, "Come at me, bruh." And that's it. Is that it? I don't know. That's cool. I like that. I like that list, actually. It's got a lot of game, that. Brett, and also, it doesn't mean abandoning your Wild Riders, and I do think, actually, big units of Wild Riders are probably the way to go. Banner of the Hunter King, what does that do? No, they're not rare, are they? They're there. Banner of the Hunter King is Vanguard. So you get a 9-inch move before. You can't make a charge now on the first turn, but still, that allows you to set up really nicely, especially for some of these secondaries if you're going first. 9 drops is quite a lot, but still, we're way off the point where we're commenting on how many drops people have, right? Even though I just have 8 drops, including characters. So we've got a vampire count list, which is crypt ghouls are interesting. Graveguard, loads of zombies, corpse cart. Add some hex wraiths. This is very much leaning on the Death Star. So you've got the White Lord that probably goes in the Graveguard unit, but doesn't have to. You've then got this massive unit of Graveguard. It's given the standard of Hellish Vigor to, rather than the Drakenhof banner, which is interesting because Drakenhof banner gives them a 5-up regen instead of a 6-up. Standard of Hellish Vigor gives them reserve move. So I think that's what it does anyway. I'm not entirely sure, actually. Where's a vampire? Here's a vampire. Son of Hellish Vigor. Reserve move, yeah. So he's made them a bit more, but there's enough spells that you can cast it. So I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. I'd stick with the Drakenhof, to be honest. Makes them a bit more survivable. And then, but I guess you get to res that many back that it doesn't really matter how many you die, because you can always bring them back. And Andy Rogers winning one of the biggest 5-game tournaments in the world with this list. He's got a Demon Prince who's Zinch level 3. Light armor, ogre blade, favour of the gods, meteoric iron. Yeah, nice, nice. Because so demon princes come with a 4-up ward inbuilt. They've got a 5-up regen, I think, inbuilt, and then this will give them a 3-up. So it's a 3-up, 4-up, 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 3-up, 4-up, 5-up, which is really good in terms of defense. However, it doesn't have that many wounds and isn't that tough. So they are demon princes are weirdly squishy. They look like they're tough as old boots, but they're actually weirdly squishy. Then you got a couple of exalted sorcerers. They're exactly as they should be in the lore, because they hypothetically they last forever. But in games, you find that the gods are a bit more capricious in where they give you your dice. It's got a Warpfire dragons, just one of them's, and some dragon ogres with a Shartak, Marauder horseman, a little unit of warriors with markers each, and some knights with markers each. Presumably, these 2 sorcerers go in this unit of warriors. In fact, these 3 sorcerers go in... okay. He's doing magic missile spam, right? So we've got all these 3 going there. So there's 20 guys in this unit. 3 of them are wizards. This one's got the Skull of Catan. It's got the Rod of Damned and Diabolic Splendor. So they're going to be -1 to hit... -2 to hit with shooting, because he's got the Icon of Darkness too. So -2 to hit with shooting. He's got 3 wizards here that can cast as each magic missile spell, which is 18 inches, d6 plus 3, strength 4, AP2 hits. So basically 3d3 plus 3d6, sorry, plus 9. So about 19 strength 4, AP2 hits, all flaming magical. And all of these spells are going to go off with a +1 to cast for the level here, +1 to cast for the Skull of Catan here, +1 to cast because they're in Tzeentch here. So +3 to cast for that and +4 to cast for that. So they're probably all going off, because I think it gets cast on an 8. So that's magic missile spam is exactly what's going on there. And then the Warpfire Dragon and the Demon Prince can just occupy a flank and just be a bit of a nightmare, and either deny your opponent's flanking force, because Warpfire Dragons negate ward saves, so you don't want it too close to the Demon Prince because it turns his off as well. But still, maybe the Warpfire Dragon and the Dragon Ogres take one flank, and the Marauder Horseman and the Demon Prince and the Knights take the other flank, and these warriors just sit in the middle, just casting shitloads of magic missiles at whatever comes close. Yeah, that's probably how that works. And it's a good list. It's a good list. We've seen it before. I think, actually, the first person to take it was Rob Symes. Because I think he took it to... I think one of the few tournaments of his own that he actually decided to enter with that type of list, and did rather well with it. I think it was just like a reserve list as well. So, but a bit of a concept that turns out to be sound in reality, as so few concepts turn out to be. This one is a pretty good one, especially in the current meta, where magic missile spam seems to be a thing. And that's it. That's the rest of the world tournament list review for October. Nice 2 and a bit hour video. I hope if you're still listening, you can give me a like. Surely 2 hours is worth the effort, is worth a little click. And again, make a comment. I do tend to respond to all comments, and I hope to catch you again soon at another video. Toodly pippy.